Welcome everybody. MegaLive, episode 4. See if I can make this somewhat scenic so y'all aren't like looking at my fucking AC unit in my man cave. I'm about to spark this stogie up. Ooh. Yes, sir. Here we go. MegaLive Mondays. Tonight's guest is a big deal. I'm excited. I mean, like, I don't know if y'all know about tonight's guest. Tonight's guest was on the show Big Brother, if y'all are familiar, where they put, like, all these people in a house and, like, film, like, their every moment, like, whatever. I, like, watched the first couple of seasons of it. Like, I mean, it was, like, you know, like, when I actually had time to, like, follow TV. It was actually a really cool program. But so tonight we have, as our guest, the person who finished 5th place on Big Brother. She's also a platinum-selling musician. So we no bullshit guests on my live, believe me. Platinum-selling musician, and she founded the first female e-bike club in New York. We're really freaking excited to have her. But before we do that, we got a big package from my friends here at NTC. And we're going to open it up live right here in front of everybody. That's how you know what a name is. When they put it on a void, you know your name is that. So, anyway. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to open it up. We're going to open it up. I got to give a huge shout out to my friends at NTC because, like, literally, this is not the first time they've supported the Mega Ride. And it takes a lot, I think, to support an event twice in 1 year when the event was held so close together. So literally, it feels like I was just opening up a package from NTC not too long ago, and now they've sent another package full of stuff for us to give away at the Mega Ride. I'm really super excited about it, man. I cannot thank you guys enough. I don't even care what's in here. I just want to say thank you to NTC. Like, literally, you guys are awesome. You guys have been, like, literally the best partner, you know, someone that's trying to throw something like this could ever ask for. And I can't thank y'all enough. Like, literally, I didn't even have to ask them. They came forward both times and said, hey, yes, we want to help out with the Mega Ride. So, I mean, it just makes my job so much easier. Makes my life easier when we have people that are like that. And, man, so let's see what's in the box. Everybody's like, shut up. Ooh. All right. I almost ordered one of these tonight. That I'm dead ass serious. I could like show y'all. I almost ordered one of these tonight. So we got the key and ignition plate in bronze. We have them in orange. We have them in green. We got them in black. What else we got in here? It's a whole big box of shit. Hold on. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm not a big social media influencer. I'm not used to opening up big boxes full of shit. Hold on real quick. While we do this, I'm gonna bring in my co-host. I already know Jay Styles. Jay Styles, here he is. All right. In addition, we got Stir-On foot pegs. Allegedly, these are for me.
You can't do it no more.
This is the ransom for being an influencer. They actually sent me some foot pegs to try out, which I'm really excited about because I've learned how big of a deal foot pegs are recently as I've started to get a little bit bolder on the bike, you know. And when you're a fat boy and you're running small pegs, trust me, it is not a fun.
What is up,
situation.
Scott?
What is up, brother? I'm sitting here going through this big old box of NTC stuff. Let me fly through this real quick, and then we will like start all the greetings and salutations.
Yes. Show them the goods.
Adjustable kickstand.
Ooh.
Let's see here. I'm gonna see. Oh, it's wrapped up. Let me see. I'm sure it has the color on it. Color green. That new NTC green. Hell yeah, man. And for those of you who don't know what that looks like.
Oh, that's money green right there.
There it is. Exactly the color of money. What else we got here? Another adjustable kickstand. This one in black.
Very important.
Oh, if y'all know me, y'all know this is my favorite modification of. I mean, I've spent thousands on my bikes. I mean, I can't even like fathom it. But this is like my favorite modification, and it is the 20 millimeter peg lower, and it's in green.
Wow.
I've never selfishly said I want to claim something so bad for the Mega Ride, but I'm just saying we're sitting there looking at a green bike over there, that probably needs
a nice little green.
Y'all are lucky I'm so fucking honest. Jesus. A whole bunch of stickers. We've been slapping these all over Houston, like a Where's Waldo type thing. Like, you know, you can find NTC stickers like all over Houston. So, hey, NTC, thank you so much. Like, literally, that's huge. Salute to you. We'll give you the MegaLive salute. And
MegaLive salute.
Yeah, the MegaLive salute for sure. And Jay, what is up, brother? How's your week been so far?
Oh yeah, it's been pretty crazy. The city's been raining all weekend, so I've been having a lot of time to work on the bike. You know, good old stuff. Over here, you know, the choice of today, because of our special lady guests, I got the Jack Daniel's Sweet Honey, the nice honey, the honey.
Well, in honor of our guests, I broke out the Stone shirt because she's a platinum selling musician. Did we mention that? A platinum.
I'm pretty sure some know.
I mean, some of y'all don't even know what the hell that means. That means she has sold a hell of a lot of records. Some of y'all may not know what that means. Records are things that you used to put into a thing to make them play music. That's like how we used to listen to music back in my day. When I was young, we used to listen to music on things called CDs.
Yeah.
Before y'all started streaming everything.
Yep, now it's all about the streams and the plays.
So it's getting cold. Is it getting cold there?
Yeah, over here it's getting a little breezy. I saw one of the guys, Mr. Super Sir. Shout out. Him and his friends were setting up a ride in Staten Island, had to be postponed to this Saturday. So anybody in the New York City area, there's a ride happening this Sunday, Staten Island, if you guys want to join. Oh man, what you got there? You lighting it up?
Yes, sir. Got a Por Laranga Petite Corona. But what's special about this cigar was it was rolled in 2007.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I bought mine from the cigar store. Nice special. But yeah, everything is happening, you know. We're going to get some good insights today for sure, guys. I'm happy for all you guys that are joining us. Sup, Saron, Florida. Sup, homies. That's amazing, though, that Miami and Florida in general, they're kind of like, you know, I'm starting to see a little bit more content, you know, over there. You know, there probably was already, but it's good to see them kind of, you know, coming up and, you know, expanding.
Well, yeah, you know, I just think that, you know, and this is one of the goals I always had for the Mega Ride was just to try to encourage other, other markets to get more organized. I mean, you know, that's how you and I met was you know, literally
100%.
Geeking out over how on earth we can all stay that organized as a crew. Which, by the way, if y'all have not seen the latest or one of the latest Frantic TV news reports, they did a special expose on the hoodlums known as S3.
He exposed what this name S3 stood for.
The reason why I say it's not the most recent episode is because the most recent episode just entered the chat. Mr. Richie has got himself a YouTube channel now. If y'all aren't entertained by this guy, hey, Richie is everyone's uncle in the e-bike community. Just go ahead and accept it. If you don't believe that, man, Richie is everybody's uncle in the e-bike community. Let's literally go follow Mr. RDC Customs 43 there. Salute.
What is up? Salute to you, Theo. This guy's hooking it up. Look, one of the rides, right? Mr. RD Custom Richie himself gave us all these beautiful walkie-talkies in which we all communicated on that huge ride that we had that day. So shout outs to you, Theo Richie, RD Customs, Frantic One.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man. Oh man, it's the weather lady.
Yeah, he is the weather lady. Yeah, on Frantic, he's the weather lady. On his actual page, he gets to like tell everybody the weather every day before they like slap his face on. Before Felix like misappropriates his face and pisses off half of New York.
Yeah, for real. Shout outs. Just saying hi to everybody. What's up, Bree?
Hey, Batman is Spokane in here too. I've seen you, Poppy. He's in here.
Yep.
Shout
You
out
were
to the
saying
legend.
about him.
Shout out to the legend, Mr. Batman of Spokane. I
Batman.
saw Zay Solis in here too. I couldn't bypass that. It just Zay popped in right as I couldn't even believe it. Oh shit, Zay Solis is in my fucking Instagram. I was like, what the hell? That's epic, dude. Dude, we'd love to have you as a guest sometime, brother.
Whoa, let's set that up.
Yeah, dude. No shit.
We got a few more spots, guys. We got a few
Yeah,
more spots.
and Zay, if you're still lurking around, brother, all salute, man. We'd love to have you. But yeah, dude, it's been a lot of fucking work lately, man. Just trying to get this mega ride stuff, ready, and just busting ass, man. Today was the final day. Is the final day for sponsors. So if you're still watching, I mean, you got a few more hours to fucking come in under the gun and whatever if you want to sponsor the ride. But I'll be honest,
the big ride.
It ain't looking good if you ain't done it by now.
Yep. 73 Maryland, Teo, how you doing? It's one of my good friends, one of my really good friends. I met him one day at the ride, and just a really good human, man. Just so many stories to have to him. Maybe you should join. It's a lot of people, a lot of potential. But Scott, as for the mega ride, it's coming closer. Is there any kind of little updates, any kind of little tweaks that you've kind of made to the ride just to inform some of the people? Because I know it's old. Whatever you plan, it's how it ends up. It's almost never the same. So.
Well, I can say this. I feel pretty confident in saying that the mega ride will be international. That we are going to have at least one international guest, which I'm really super proud of. And possibly two. Shout out to my bike builder, Dave. We coded, just joined. If we can make some things happen and whatever, we're going to try to make it where we, have a few bikes for these guys coming in from London, man, because we figured if you're going to travel all the way from across the pond, man, we want to try to put you guys on bikes, man. So we're going to try to make that happen for them.
100%. We're so happy.
Obviously, the sponsor stuff has been big. I guess I can announce it here. GLE today has announced that they are sponsoring. They're going to be giving away a BAC 4000. They will also be giving away what is called the Bilotti bar, which if y'all are familiar with Nico Bilotti, he basically has been kind of engineering this little wheelie bar kind of accessory for a while. So we're actually going to be having two companies giving away wheelie accessories, which is really cool. I think that just is a testament to where this community is going and just the need for these kind of parts. They just haven't existed, and I think people have pushed the boundaries and in terms of what they can do with these bikes, and it's time for kind of new accessories to open up a whole avenue of new tricks and stuff like that. So shout out GLE, shout out Scapegoat. If you're not following GLE and Scapegoat, go do so.
Follow the guys. Follow the
Also, Hyperblades. This is probably another announcement I'm really excited about.
Oh man, what is Hyperblades?
Come to Texas. Hold on. I'm gonna do this for dramatic effect. Pause.
Whoa. What we got?
You come to Texas and win a Switchblade.
Nice for all those that have hair in the face and hair in the head.
Well, no. You can actually win a real Switchblade. Hold on, let me do this.
Oh, the real Switchblade.
Because clearly, for the comedic reasons, I think that we fell short there. It's a real Switchblade. They're going to give us a real 10 real Switchblades, dude. You can come to Texas to the Mega Ride and win a Switchblade. How crazy is that?
We're better to get it.
Yeah.
We're better to get it.
Hey, all right. We've our special guest of honor, it looks like, has arrived. Hey, Jay, why don't you? I've sort of, like I said, I've given my little shout out to her. I've said what I know from research. I can tell you, she was on Big Brother. She finished 5th on there against the Quack Pack. If y'all are familiar with that from season 14, whatever. Anyway, hey, she should have been first. She was playing the game right. Literally, it's hard I think it's a testament to get that far, and you're like the last person that's outside of an alliance. So that's really like cool. You know, I mean, we'd like to ask her maybe some questions about that. She's a platinum selling musician. Once again, back in the day when those things mattered. For those of you that don't know what a record is, that those of you that don't know what a CD is, that's how we used to listen to music back in the day. And she sold a whole lot of them. And she's a founder of the She Wolves. And I'm gonna let Jay kind of introduce her. Then we're gonna bring her in. Jay, go ahead and like kind of tell like, you know, how you met Jen and like kind of, you know, what we need to know.
Gotcha. So Jen from the She Wolves, right? She we met each other, you know, during all the rides. She had her. I don't want to give too much away because I want her to, you know, come in with the gram. But overall, she she came. She had an RX, a Super 73 RX, right? She was always cool. She always had like the motorcycle helmet, super cool. And she was always very nice. I can always tell you that, like, you know, very approachable, very, you know, informative as well, you know. And she was always talking about, you know, having other females riding. And I guess, you know, long term, you know, in the long term, it came to her cultivating this new pack of e-bike riders that are females that are called the She Wolves, right? And but yeah, that's the basics of understanding from like my experience. You know, the legendary Jen City.
Yeah,
Let's see if we can
like
request
part
her
of the
on.
topics we're going to talk that we're going to talk about is how we can be like more polite as guys. So I'm going to warn a few people in here right now. You might not just get kicked out of chat if you act a fool tonight. You might get your ass kicked in person if I see you. So be very, very respectful tonight about what you say in this chat. And welcome our guest right now,
The queen of e-bikes.
Miss Jen City.
Where's
There's always like a delay, a dramatic like delay. Yes.
What's up, Jed?
The She Wolf Howl.
Oh yeah, baby.
She Wolf gang is here.
Hey, what is good? High five, high five, high five. There you go.
High five, somewhere around
What
there.
is good? What is good? How's everybody feeling tonight? Feeling good? Let's go.
We are good.
Cash Monty, you just caught a fucking block right off the top, brother. Congratulations. All right. Jen.
Awesome.
So happy.
All right, you got cigar? I didn't get the cigar invite. Damn, man. Oh, you got the Rolling Stone shirt on. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, what kind of...
I love it. Hey, to start off though, like, thank you so much for that awesome intro, and thank you for even thinking of having me on here. I think this is so fucking beyond awesome. So, yeah, let's do it to it. Let's get to it. What's good in Texas? Let's talk about New York. Let's talk about the female rider. Let's give everybody a shout out. Let's get it. Let's get it, baby. Come on.
Yes.
Well, let's get into the e-bike part of this first. I think that's probably what I think most people get most excited about. The She Wolves there. How did you get into e-bikes? I mean, because again, like that intro, you know, platinum selling musician, you know, Big Brother, which I pretty much know. You get a lot of opportunities after you're on national TV and stuff like that. What drew you to e-bikes? What made you say, okay, this is something that I'm interested in and interested in enough to like form a kind of a female coalition of riders?
Yeah, that's a great question. So actually, I was looking at the calendar today and I was like, all right, it's kind of not necessarily a long story, but a fun story. But hey, it's October, it's spooky season. And actually, it was in October when I ran into finally somebody else on an e-bike. And I honestly had no idea about some other world. So this is like my 4th year of riding within this community here in New York City. And actually, the person I first ran into was Booby. Booby, he heads up
Gotham.
Oh my God! Baby, the fire behind me. You see the fire? He's incredible guy, incredible human being, and I'm excited to call him a friend, brother, really. And shout out to Gotham e-bikes for sure. They're great people, great to ride with. The big bikes, guys, with the big bikes.
Big battery boys.
The big battery boys, baby. A Booby all day. But I ran into him and it was somewhere outside of Prospect Park. I live in Brooklyn, New York. And he was like, yo, you know, ride with other people. And I was like, it didn't even occur to me. I'm on my Super 73, I'm on my S2. And I was like, riding with other people. And I was like, of course that makes sense, because it's my background is motorcycle riding. I first started riding on Honda Groms. So I was always into the mini moto. And I was like, yeah, of course there would be people riding. And I'm like, well, how big is this community? Because to me, Super 73 at the time was pretty small, 3 or 4 years ago, or just really starting out, and then enter, the Ponderosa, and really flip the world on its end, right? And then everybody wanted an e-bike.
100%.
From there, honestly, like everybody. And I remember when I ordered my RX, it took about 3 or 4 months to get over to me, and that was a short amount of time compared to like 6 months plus that other people were waiting for. But to me, what it means is it's complete freedom, right? A lot of us riders sometimes call it, I call it wind therapy, depending how fast you're going, right?
Wind therapy. I like that. I like that.
And how fast you're going, but it's this wind therapy to where you maybe have huge responsibilities in life, or there's a lot of certain things that you are responsible for, or that's not top of mind for you. And it's a de-stressor, right? It's a break away from all of that. And that's how I see it, that no matter what I'm responsible for or taking care of, it's like, okay, cool. I know I can hop out on my bike, whether it's myself or if I'm meeting up with other riders and the other she-wolves. Then I know that, all right, cool. I'm just, smiles for miles, baby, smiles for miles. So for someone like me, it's extremely therapeutic. And I think a really great, like, a consequence of getting into this is meeting a bunch of incredible people via the community, right?
Right.
It's that I was not something that I necessarily had fully thought of when I brought the e-bike. I just thought, awesome, this is a great way to get back, like, on a Honda Grom, or get back more so into riding. I'm home more. I'm not touring as much. So something isn't sitting in a garage for several months because I'm not home, or it's not riding season here in New York City, or whatever it is. And honestly, New York City, a little wishy-washy with their laws, but they finally legalized e-bikes. So it was like, it was really like, I know loophole culture, that phrase certainly has become synonymous with the e-bike community, but it really is true, especially here in New York City, because we get to kind of ebb and flow in between some of these laws that they have here, and do the damn thing, right? And be like, well, I have pedals. I wasn't going that fast. You can say that on a Super 73, right? I do have an Onyx, though, to where I have recently blown by the cops, and them just be like, like, yeah, baby, bye.
That is kind of a fun experience.
That's the long answer of how I got into everything. Booby BK, booby all day. Again, yes. Shout out to Gotham. He stopped me very respectfully. He's like, hey, there's other people, there's other riders. And I was like, and he was on an RX at the time, the gray RX. I think the Rhino gray is what they called it. And his bike looked like souped out. And I was like, what? I was like all about it. So it was cool. So I've been riding with this community this month, starting for 4 years, and and then got into the group rides, and got to meet other people, and it's been a wild adventure. It's been really unique, very unique, the whole experience so far, for sure.
Man. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you just said that you went from an RX, right, to an Onyx. Like,
oh yeah, baby.
Yes. All right. For the very few people that know about the transition from a 30 miles an hour bike to something a little bit more, how is that, like, coming from a Grammy to the Super 73 back into something kind of more very fast, like an Onyx? Like, what are your like quick overalls of an Onyx?
That's another good question. So you got to remember, Honda Grom, she's topping out at maybe 70, maybe you're pushing it, but it's a heavier bike, right? That you could be nimble with. And especially here in New York City, it's like perfect to commute really quick around. To go, I knew it was a cruiser bike. Like, I knew what I was buying myself into. I wasn't fooling myself or anything ridiculous like that. It was more so of like, all right, we are cruising. We could be in a bike lane. We could, at the time, be in a park and go through there and not really have too much hassle. Now I would say it's a little different story. You're either if you have to ride through the park, it's either really early or late. I haven't gotten pulled over in the park. I'm going to knock on some wood here, but a lot of my other friends have been stopped and threatened with a $150 ticket. So fuck all that. And
Oh
it's
man.
ridiculous too, because if you really think about it, it just comes down to the money in the city, right? Because it's the city bikes are literally going almost just as fast as a Super 73, but they're
Mhm.
allowed in parks. So it's like, okay, what's really the difference here? But I digress. To go to something that was just very cruising, having fun, all that good stuff, into something that, I mean, the Onyx is straight up, it's an electric moped, electric motor bike slash motorcycle. End of story. Speed, the need for speed, you hop on that bad boy and you are absolutely out of there. So I would recommend those who are more aggressive rider and possibly more experienced riders, like to step up to the Onyx is a pretty sweet move. I've seen people first get the Onyx and be maybe a bit like, whoa. I mean, that's a lot of power, right there in your right hand
Mhm.
if you don't have a tremendous amount of experience in riding the bikes themselves. But like the Onyx, she's sleek, she's a little bougie, she's gorgeous, absolutely love it. And that's what I've been on. I would say like for the past like month. The second I got it, I haven't taken the
Yeah, we
RX
saw
out.
that picture.
Yeah, I was at Last Mile cheesing my face off.
Yo, yeah.
But
Were you
yeah,
guys?
it's a really big difference, and I think that it's kind of a good segue into heading into She Wolves in a bit, because in this community and all throughout, to be fair, is that there's a lot of different styles of riders, right? There's
Oh yeah.
some ride. I've been on some group rides where it's low and slow, and it was more about absorbing the scenery around you, and more so
Right.
about like all hanging out with each other, and that's fantastic. That's a awesome part of
Yeah.
being a part of this community. And then on the flip side, I've been on rides. It's like we are fucking hauling ass the whole fucking entire time. We are just like, whoa, and then like just for your life swerving in and out of traffic. And I know this may sound crazy, but that's really fucking fun and enjoyable too. Like I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And there's different styles of riders who are going to be like, yeah, this is what I do. I'm a big battery boy. I'm a big battery boy, and I go big battery fast. And then there's
Yeah.
others who are like, I'm just trying to like catch a vibe and eat a pretzel and
Right.
just have some fun with my friends, maybe smoke a blunt, have a cigar. I don't know, and trying to do that. So I always tell people who like step into this or they're learning more about it, it's like their first year, the first bike that they're on. I always tell them, I say, hey, yeah, the big battery boys, big battery boys. I'm telling you, that's gonna be the next e-bike collective I start. It's gonna be called Big Battery Boys.
Big
There
battery
you go.
boys. Big battery girls.
Big battery girls, big battery everybody. Let's go.
Yeah.
Next
Um,
club.
but I always tell people, and the first time that they're riding is that, hey, for this particular season, you're going to find out how you like to ride, what you like to ride, like the whole vibe. And then for second season, you're probably going to want a new bike or become a big battery boy
Yes.
or
Yes.
girl,
We always get bit by
whatever.
that bug. I convinced myself it was safety reasons. I told myself if I could just have another 5 or 10 miles an hour more speed in traffic, like it would be like, safer. And next thing you know, I'm going 80 miles an hour.
And get himself a KO motor and trying to juice it up to the max.
Big battery boy, big battery boy.
That's right.
But
Shout out to
but
my
all,
batteries. Sorry.
yeah, shout out to Shine Battery. Hey, listen, they have fantastic options, whether it's an Onyx, Saron, or the Super 73. I have the Ranger on my RX. That was like easy peasy decision to add to the RX, right? It was like, oh, increase my range, and it gives you a little extra oomph. It gave me like an extra 2 to 3 miles of oomph. And I was like, all right, that's cute. That's not why I got it, but that's cute. I got it I was switching. I traveled with a battery and I had it in one of those really nice frame bags by KJ bags. I know, sponsoring
Yeah.
coming. Hey, they can holler. They
It's
can
your
holler all
girl. Hey,
day.
it's your girl, Shy, right here.
Come on in,
Yeah.
baby. But KJ products, they have those really beautiful frame bags for the Super 73s, whether it's the S2 or the RX. And I would always keep an extra battery in there. And I was like, man, I don't want to switch back and forth. So it's just super dope to have it run parallel, and I get outstanding range out of it. So yeah, they offer some really great solutions. And typically, that's what I've seen. And this month, starting 4 years of people just graduating upward, 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 whether it's a new bike they decide to make an investment in, and or it's just their entire setup that they want to change. Like they're like, fuck this, I'm going to get a new motor, controller, battery. I love the frame. I'm going to work on the frame. And I think that's a really enriching and exciting part about the e-bike community as well, is that you could do all these mods to the bike, and that's where the community part steps in too, because just us going back and forth to be like, oh, well, what do you recommend for this? Or, hey, how can I help do, how could I, change out my rear shocks on my Onyx RCR? Or is it the 350 millimeter shocks I need to get? Which ones are the best ones? Da, 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 da. All of that good stuff. So yeah, it's like, that's fun. I find that fun and exciting.
Yeah, it's like a pool that you jump into. Like, you just, so much more stuff. You start researching about your bike. Oh, it can do this. Oh, it can do that. And you just start going more and more in. But Jen, I wanted to ask, since you mentioned about last October.
Yes.
Right? That's when you first started. Mm-hmm. When did the first idea of like She-Wolves came about? When we were like, all right, this, because I already know when the first ride was, which we'll get into shortly. Because for the people that know there was a ride, and you're gonna explain to us how it was and what we did, because the connections you made there and the doors you're opening, it's fantastic. Just so stay tuned, guys. But yeah, definitely, like, when was the date that you're like, okay, She-Wolves, and we start now? Like, when do we start?
That's great, because I need to figure out that date and like go through all my text messages and all that fun shit and be like, okay, it was sometime in late July. I'm pretty sure it was late July, mid or late July. But I had noticed I was going out on rides, right? And I was almost always the only female there. And I was like, okay. But then, as the years have progressed, I'm starting to see more female riders, whether it's just like, hey, yeah, I have a Super 73 they use to commute back and forth to work, or they're like, hey, I'm into it. I'm about to buy a Sauron next. I'm selling this S2. Fuck this. I want to be a big battery boy, or whatever the vibe is. And I started seeing a real opportunity, especially when the female riders that I was meeting would tell me, they're like, sometimes I'm intimidated to go on a group ride. I would love to, but that seems like, kind of a lot, or I don't know how to. Listen, group rides in New York City is some other shit, all right? I'm just saying, it's some other shit.
I can't wait to experience it. I know that.
You got to.
We got you.
You got to experience it, and there's like levels to it. Some of them are outrageously organized to where it's like, okay, there's a head leader, a middle pack leader, and someone in the back. Like maybe some larger group rides I've been on when it comes to a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And then some of these are just free for alls. Hey, well, we're going to this spot and we'll meet you there.
Yeah, if you make it, you make it.
And no one left behind. Which it really rings true, I would say, for all the groups that I've had the pleasure of riding with, is of just not leaving anyone behind. I mean, there's a few outliers, but whatever. I would say that I started, the more conversations I had, I remember talking to Mish, who's in She-Wolves, of course, and I said, I think the time is now. I think it'd be really cool to put an all-female collective together of riders, and for all levels of riding, whether they ride their partner's bike or they just got a bike, or they're really thinking about getting a bike. I mean, one of the She-Wolves, I met her at Last Mile. Well, I met her online. We're chitty-chatting just about the bikes, and it's like only about the bikes. I ended up meeting her at Last Mile, and that day, she left with an RX. And well, she purchased the RX that day and picked it up the following week. And like this, it's like it gave a sense of empowerment. It was like a new passion for somebody. Like they felt like when they got on the bike, it was just like, they felt really empowered. And that could be really, that's some deep shit right there, man. That could be very healing for somebody. And I'm telling you, I just saw the opportunity during the summer, and I was like, you know what, let's do it. I have been riding with all the other groups. I've been outrageously supportive of S3, Gotham, anyone that I would run into, because I love that. I love the group mentality, the crew mentality. I do err on, hey, there's got to be some structure to it. There's got to be some method to the madness, but I think that's really empowering. There is nothing more powerful than putting people all together that feel the same way about something, right? It's like that kind of thing moves mountains. So if you take that kind of thought and apply that to this, I think it's really powerful. And it was very much like I saw that opportunity of just meeting. I got to shout out Amber. She's an incredible. She's on the fucking those fucking. I don't know how they do it only on one wheel, but she is incredible. The groups she rides with are incredible. All of that, and I don't know how she fucking does it. I would fucking murder my legs. I'm still recovering from fucking surgery. I probably shouldn't even be riding this damn bike, but whatever. I digress.
You gotta
But I saw that opportunity and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it because it was, yes, EUC all day, man. All of you ride EUCs, you get all my love and fucking respect. And one day I'm going to try one out and I'll probably fall in love with them and ride with them and be like, fuck the bikes. But I'm sorry?
I keep saying the same thing. I want to try one, but I don't know if I'll ever do it.
Yeah, I got to at least try one. I got to let my my heal up my leg a little bit more, but I'd love to try one. But whoever's on here rides that way, man, mwah, love and respect to you. I see you. I just look at you as awe. I see him in like the street. I'm like, wow. But again, I saw that opportunity but the difference with She Wolves was really, it's an empowerment thing, right? Of like, cool. Like you rode someone else's bike or a boyfriend or girlfriend's bike or whatever the vibe is. And you're like, wow, this is really fun. This is something I could be passionate around, but I might be, it's in this day and age, some women are intimidated of being around men that they don't know. And especially if they're all kind of like ganged up with each other and they're showing up by themselves at a group ride, it could be really intimidating. So I see She Wolves as a place to where you can grow your skill set when it comes to your bike or whatever it is that you're riding. You could be around people who want to help you feel empowered in that essence. And you could, whether it's like, hey, you only ride with females, cool. We could be an option for you. If you want to like help, get your riding skills up to a certain level, so you could ride with other groups and not feel scared to fucking death in the city. Hey, we can absolutely help out with that and do that, of course. But it's a sense of empowerment. And with She Wolves, it's also taking it a step further. I love all things business. I coach other companies on their sales models and how they can increase revenue and ARR depending on what they sell. And it's also about reaching out to certain places that would be supportive of having, whether it's 20, 30, 40, or possibly 50 or more groups of people showing up to host them, right? I thought there was a great opportunity for that. So that's something that's definitely different about us that I really focus in on, is building relationships that would welcome groups such as ours, especially with, and I know this is deeply New York City based, but it's, there's a bad rap out there. We have a celebrity mayor who is just like standing there watching all these dirt bikes get crushed. I mean, they're literally taking bikes away from people. So it's also like, all right, and then, sadly, there's a whole other part to it too. And it's literally safety. It's literally, women, or young females feeling safe with other guys that they don't know.
Right.
And there's a respect thing too. Like, for example, this week, no, it was actually last week, a friend of mine let me know. She was like, my boss knows who you are. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, he rides bikes. And he was like, oh, he goes, She Wolves. He was like, oh, well, who do you know from She Wolves? Like, Jen. He's like, oh, the one with the big boobs. And I was like, okay. So like, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. And the only thing people have to do is something that's free, and it's called respect.
Right.
So at least when you are hanging out with the She Wolf, you'll be respected. That your safety is not only it's at top of everyone's mind. And in fact, like, especially I would say in the past month and a half, we really focused in on doing more private rides and inviting other experienced riders that other people feel comfortable with. And then, we go have fun and cruise around. But yeah, it's a respect thing. It's a safety
Uh-huh.
thing. And that's why a group like She Wolves is deeply important.
Right, right. And I just want to ask one question because I know Scott probably has a few questions, but
Sure.
so I like how you mentioned, you know, slowly collaborating with other writers. You have your own group, right? And you guys are slowly kind of reach out, which, from what I saw, you were honored to like have the She Wolves, remember the S3? We had our ride together. That was an example for you, for those that don't know, that we felt there was a good vibe between all of us. So it was a good idea to start the first She Wolf ride with the S3 crew to have a presence of numbers, and also everybody is respecting each other. They know each other,
Exactly.
so that allowed some of the people that follow us in New York City that know us to be able to see what the She Wolves do and all that. But yeah, there was a ride, the S3 crew, and then the She Wolf ride. Like that was an amazing day. Like
Yo,
I'm
that shit
pretty
was
sure
wild.
it was nerve wracking. Like how did planning that go about? Like from start to the finish to like when you got home, you were like, all right, I finished it. Like how was that whole process, that whole day? Like what were you most focused on, and what are some tips that you can give ride people that are starting their own small little groups
Yeah.
to go do, to start, riding with other people? Like what are some insights?
Yeah, definitely. That's another great question. Well, it was a blast, and I chatted with Mike about it. I was like, "Hey, I have this
Shout
idea
out Mike.
about S3 all day." Mike, hopefully he's on here. Complete sweetheart, he is.
Yes, I saw your question.
Uh,
We'll ask in a minute. Go ahead.
okay, so I presented the idea of like, "Hey, what do you think about doing a collab ride?" And that will be one of the She Wolves' first public rides. The plan is certainly to at least do one big public ride a year, and it'll probably be in collaboration with someone or with other groups. But it just depends because this was a wild riding season for a few reasons. But it was, I gotta say, I was like, hey, if 15 or 20 riders show up or whatever, hey, that's cool. Over 50 fucking riders showed up from like
Oh, that day
all
was
kinds of
crazy.
communities. And I was just like, holy shit, let's get it popping. I'm trying to leave on time. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, it was like this wild, empowering, and terrifying experience all at the same time to like look in my rear view and see all of these fucking bikes following me. And we're going through, just to set the scenario for those who aren't here in New York City. A lot of the times we meet at a place called Pier 17, right along the water, really beautiful. There's also a chance to charge there and all that good stuff. And so we get that going, but you're still like, when you get off Pier 17,
Mm-hmm.
you're riding through, like, we're going to throw you in traffic, depending. And of course, it's like Saturday and there wants to be traffic. And you're taking people over certain bridges, whether it's the Manhattan Bridge, personal favorite, or it's going to be, in this case, it was the Williamsburg Bridge. And then I had a route to kind of get things going a little bit further out. And then we're heading straight into Industry City. And I mean, we had a fellow rider, her bike went out, just controller unfortunately shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, no one is ever left behind on our rides. That is
Mm-hmm.
not what we do. We actually waited, and everybody was fucking awesome about it. Like
Yep.
we were able to get the rider off the bridge safely. And then it was like, when she came through, it was like like everybody was clapping and cheering, because it's like we just do it different here in New York City.
Yeah.
We do, like, we are like, no matter what, like, you're getting a large group of people together, so it's not like everyone's going to be besties, but that respect level typically is there, and you're looking out for one another, right? And so bam, got her over the bridge. Everyone's clapping and enjoying themselves, like,
Mm-hmm.
cool. And then we made our way down, and then it's like one rider allegedly got hit by, well, he did get hit by a car, not allegedly. While waiting for him and finding out if he's okay, my bike stopped working because I'm waiting around and I'm on the phone and I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going
Mm-hmm.
on? Just to be sure. And I had shout out to Bill and Mike helped me out, and took small groups of riders, like, hey, get down to Industry City and I'll get this last pack down.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with Industry City was really interesting because I had a meeting with their director of property management and their director of marketing
Ooh.
They're people that I went out of my way to go. I actually organically met while at Industry City, stopping for a ride, and met with them, and they were enamored with the bikes. And myself and another she-wolf were sitting there chatting with them, had a meeting with them like a week later, and I told them, hey, this is what we do, this is what's happening. Would Industry City be open to actually hosting us and actually knowing that we're showing up, not just showing up? And they're absolutely, yeah. And so once we get like the last pack down there, they asked us just to park our bikes in a particular place. I just had to get some bikes out of Industry City. And then some of the outlets stopped working as well. And then someone's saying, like, oh, they're turning the outlets off on us. I was like, they're not. We're blowing them out. Okay. So then I meet with the director of security. He gives me a big hug because I was starting to feel a little stressed at this point. And I was just like, look, I have all these emails. Like, we are supposed to be here and welcome. It's like, oh, no, it's not that. Don't worry. They called the engineering department. Engineering came through, fixed all the outlets. Everybody was able to charge because we had a lot of riders come from the Bronx, man. I got to take care of my people from the Bronx. So they came down.
I don't think people understand that. Like, you can't plug in. It's difficult to plug in 50 electronic devices that take
it was a
draw
thing.
the kind of power that we draw. And I expect there to be issues. That's something that at the MegaLive we deal with all the time. Is like, where can we charge people? And I've had to learn to tell people don't sleep 10 deep at a B&B, because how are you going to charge your bikes at if there's 10 of you staying at a bed and breakfast, you got to think about stuff like this. You're going to trip, you're going to trip you're going to blow the breaker there. So
yeah. And the thing is, like, some of these
going to rides are just, I don't think a lot of people, they're quick to complain about, but they don't ever think, what did you do to get this done,
Yeah. And people will always complain before they compliment. So we already know that's just in some people, a lot of people's DNA.
Nature.
But you're right. And some of these chargers that are badass, they're variable. So you could charge either 5, you could charge at 7%, you could charge at 10%. So
turn that son bitch up.
Yeah. Turn it up and fuck this person. Why is this blown out now? I don't understand.
Lights out.
We have a couple of riders like that. I know who they are, so they can't play with me. But security was super cool. Like I said, the director, he came out and he sees me and he's like, Jen, I was like, yeah, and he just gives me a big hug, and I was like, because it was just a lot had happened, to get all these motherfuckers down to Industry City. My bike turns off. We had somebody else's bike stop working. Someone got hit by a car. Like, almost anything and everything that could happen on the ride happened. But one thing it did teach me was, like, people were just down with the shits, right? They were just like, okay, whatever, okay. Because to me, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, this is a massive shit show. And then I was like, no, this is not. This is a fucking blast. This is a good ride. This is what happened.
That is a great point, because I think, a lot of people get intimidated by hosting events because they get so wrapped up into, like, while the event's happening. And I have to remind myself at the MegaLive to have fun.
Right. Got to. I will call you and tell you.
Please
and
do.
I will ask you,
please do,
are you having fun?
Now, like, I literally just had a conversation with my builder tonight. I was just like, I don't want to hear anything else. I just, like, all I want to hear from you is, like, when are we going to, like, ride routes again and again and again? I mean, these are the same routes we always ride. He's just laughing at me. I'm just like, I need to ride them again. I need to ride them again.
Got it.
Understand, can I take 300 people through here if 300 people show up? I mean, it's just like, it's a freaky experience. But I'll just say this to people that are, like, thinking about getting into, like, organizing rides. It's worth it. It's so worth it for all the reasons that Jen said about, the people that you meet in the community and things like that. I mean, but have fun if you're doing it.
Exactly.
One of the people that we mentioned was Backup Mike, and he had a really great question. I'm gonna pull it up real quick and ask.
Yeah, let's do it to it.
Richmond Riders.
I saw you, Richmond Riders, in the house.
Shout out.
Yeah. All right. So
Emma.
Mike asks, what kind of role would you see yourself playing in the Ebike community 3 years from now? And I think that, you've been in the community about 3 or 4 years. Fast forward, because my builder and I do this all the time, because, it's crazy, because I have to remind him that my first bike build wasn't even done until MLK Day of this year. So there is no 2021 part of the Surron Texas story. It's all 2022 and forward, So it's crazy to us when we sit there and think, Jesus, we've like done all of this in a few months, basically, And so I ask you, like, what, like, because I mean, when I think about this for myself, it kind of it's almost like a terrifying thought sometimes of like, oh my gosh, like it's like I feel like I've already accomplished a lot. It's like, and I can't even imagine with everything you've accomplished. What would you like? Where do you see yourself in 3 years with the e-bike scene?
Well, with the Ebike community, I I love it. There's some days where, and especially this writing season, where I was like, my God, my God, there's a lot of bullshit I'm dealing with. And then there's some days that I'm like, oh, I fucking love it. And to go back to that group ride for Industry City, that was a big takeaway. So that is something, please, if you're starting to organize rides, like don't beat yourself up. Things will happen. People will get flats. People's bikes will go out. Hopefully, everybody is safe, but an accident can happen. And it's, hey, stay with them and make sure that they're okay and get them anything and everything that they need.
Right.
And have fun. It was good for me to learn to just like let go of the control a bit in the sense of like, hey, you know what? We made it here. We did it. And a lot of people they stayed at Industry for a long time. They had food, they had drinks. I mean, at the end, I was like, there's still a lot of motherfucking people here ready to ride. I'm like, the ride is done, friends.
They still wanted more.
Yeah, they still wanted more, which is great. And that's what they should leave with. And I can't wait to pick up the baton again next writing season and do something special for the community for sure. But going back, when it comes to say 3 years from now, I mean, I would love to obviously, have She Wolves be much more than just central to New York City. I think She Wolves is a collective that could live far beyond just a tri-state area, if you will. I think with it being rooted in empowerment and it being rooted in relationship building and collaboration, I think it's casting a wide net of opportunities. So I would say that. And listen, who knows what else I'll head up or become a part of,
if you don't
become an ambassador for. You never know.
If you don't mind, I have to step away from the e-bike world just for a second. Like literally, you fascinate me. Like there's so many facets of like what you've done and your personality and like things that you've been involved with that like just like literally interest me beyond e-bikes. So I hope people would like indulge me in this for a second. Tell me just kind of about you musically. Like music is like, I mean, I've talked.
Music is my everything. I have a tattoo on my neck. So yeah, we're not playing games, baby.
It saved my life. It saved me millions in therapy bills. It saved me everything. And it's just like, I just kind of want to get your comment about music and the kind of the thoughts of, cause I really I've been down on the music industry. I have to be honest, because it feels like that, and you showed me a new side the other day of it about the ghostwriting part of it and things like that. But I mean, I look at my friends that used to sell albums that like now don't feel like they can because everything's just downloadable, and it's just like, anybody that wants your stuff is just a free, everything is so easily obtainable.
Right.
And it just like, and I've always like, really respected live music. Live music has been my jam. Like, I mean, I've spent more money than on e-bikes. I've spent on literally following like the Grateful Dead and Fish and all these like other little hippie live bands around. Kind of get your thoughts on kind of the music industry and just, your involvement with it and just anything you want to kind of say about that. I mean, I'd love to hear it. I mean, because I don't think we will. I'm just going to go ahead and like newsflash everybody. I do not think we will ever have a platinum selling musician inside MegaLive again. Knock on wood.
No, you can never say never though. You can never say never.
Hey,
you can never say never.
I think that nobody sells albums anymore.
Well, that's facts. Well, yeah. So that's the thing. Well, that's a lot of questions all at once, but let's get to them. So I would say that everything evolves, no matter what it is. It's technology. Even think about the bikes. I could relate this to the bikes along with the music industry because they're, in the early 2000s when album sales did matter is when I went platinum as an artist, right? and then a Livewire hit, and then that was it, right? And Napster hit, and it was like, okay, everyone's downloading albums for free, and it's all good. I would say there's a better and more there's more of an advantage for artists now than ever, and it's just about evolving with the music industry. You can put everything online now, and you don't need for a distributor. You can easily use cdbaby.com. There's so many. You could use TuneCore. You could use DistroKid. There's all of these different distros that you could use now to help license your music out to where you're not, somebody doesn't own your masters, you own your masters. Like, to me, it's more for the artist now than ever. But I do agree that if you're, dare I say, a bit old school, it could be a lot to navigate through, right? So it's about like, okay, well, how can I get my music up online? How can I have it? Like, if I do an IG story, I could put Gen City music on it. How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's just artists have to take those extra steps, or should I encourage to take those extra steps to learn that. And listen, the live show will never change. It's just, here's the deal. Here's what's different is that when for generation over generation to over generation, it's been like, we would lose our mind when we heard that guitar riff. We would lose our mind when we hear that kick drum, and it was like boom, 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 boom. Now it's evolved to where the next generation is excited when they hear that dun, 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 but it might be more like this, or maybe they really get fucking stoked when they hear drill or trap or something along those lines. Like, right. It's just music continuously evolving. It's the way it's mixed continually evolves. Like when we were going back and forth the other day, I was like, everything is mixed in the red, and it's just like I can't stand it, but I get it because that's where music has gone to, and that's where the industry is. And when I say mixing in the red, it's just when you're mixing an album, like the green is where you want to be, and you're getting in the red. It's like everything is. It's these days always seems to be mixed in the red, and you hear it. But I think as a music artist, you have more advantages than ever because, back in the day, you had to be signed to a label if you wanted to go global. You had to have them do the distribution. You had to work with a booking agent a booking agent, if you're at a certain point, I absolutely do recommend. And that's where you could spend some of your money as an artist for sure to help get you on the right tours. But if you're pulling streaming numbers, you got something good going on. And if anything, at least people can find you and your music so much easier than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So my mindset's a little bit different to where I've seen it evolve, and it was either evolve or die. So it's like you had to get with the shits. Right. You just had to get with the shits and be like, you're either with this or you're not. Or you could be left behind. Or if you have some elitist idea in your head of like how the industry should be or how it should be treating you, I got news for you, honey. It's not going to fucking pan out for you if you got some pie in the sky idea. You've got to fucking put the work in, and it's a full-time job.
I really thought about it from that perspective. I have a lot of friends that are in the hip hop industry, and and hip hop is something I really truly love. And it's just like, I've looked at the course of I'm a lawyer too, so I'm also fascinated about contracts and things like that. I've just looked at how many people have signed away their masters, have signed slave labor deals, essentially just to say that they have a record label and distribution.
360 deals.
And
you don't have to do that anymore.
While record companies are selling millions of their albums, and these people are begging for,
and they'll use that 360 deal as a tax write-off. Pardon me. Yeah. So like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit about it. They really don't. Yes, somebody in here said NFTs of your music. Now, exactly that is the future. And anything you can do to protect your masters. Don't sign your masters away. You literally don't need to do that anymore. You could be a very successful hip hop artist, trap artist. You can even do metal. There's some great metalcore bands out there that I find on Spotify or Apple Music or what have you. And I go to their show, I'm like, holy fuck, they sold out this venue, 600 people. I just found out about them the other day. Holy shit, they did this themselves. Like, that's what it's all about. To me, it is advantageous to the artist. It is up to the artist to put in the work.
Christy brought up a really good question in the live. NFTs. NFTs is something that really, and so for people that don't know what NFTs are, non-fungible tokens are kind of the marriage between like collectibles and music and things like that, and the blockchain that's associated with cryptocurrency that allows, I guess, I really do see, the future of licensing being in NFTs and
Yes.
things like that. What are your thoughts about NFTs? Have you thought about it? Have you done it? Have you,
I'm about to do it. Yes, I'm about to do it. I'm working through some of that right now with somebody. I'm 100% going to be doing that. Another avenue that has proven to be really fruitful is licensing out music for TV and for TV or movie. And I've licensed some music that way. And some singles that way, and that just pays dividends. That's just like cool, a mechanical royalty check showing up every quarter, and you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
If there's any artists out here that are doing their thing, focus in on your streaming. Be sure that you have your streaming rights all in order. Learn all you can about NFTs. I do think it's the future, and explore and learn more about licensing your music out. There's no shame in that game. I mean, you could, if you're if you're a one hit wonder, who gives a shit? I mean, you could still be making your money,
Do you YouTube platform? And if not, why? I mean, I think that you're so fascinating. I see, like, if you want, I know it's a lot of work, but
it's a lot of work. I think that's why I haven't done it.
Like a lot of aspects of your life and things like that. I just can't imagine that you wouldn't do extremely well on that platform.
Well, I will. That's a huge compliment. Thank you. And I will definitely, people who work with me are so upset I don't have my own YouTube channel, and they're even more pissed at me that I don't do TikTok. And I'm like, okay.
It is like I've been on there less than a month, and I've grown more than 1,000 like followers or whatever. It definitely seems like it's kind of. I don't know. I say that I had a couple of videos that exploded real fast, and then the last few have done shitty. But it seems to me, especially with you, like I mean, I don't know. I'm just like I'm fascinated. You're so understated with everything that but it's like so funny. It's like I don't think we'll ever have this opportunity again to like literally touch greatness. This closely.
Gassing me up, brother. Gassing me up.
Actually, but
you know what? I will. And you know what's funny? I journal and I write down my goals every day and all of that. And the YouTube channel it's certainly been on the goals. Okay, for this year. Please and maybe I should just go ahead and do it, and just like me talking about topics and just go for it,
I just can't imagine why, like, literally even just simple stuff like no one wants to hear me just talk about bullshit. Like, I could imagine that, like, people would literally tune in for hours just to hear you talk about, like, your experiences with Kitty or your experiences on Big Brother. I mean, there's so many things, like, literally, we could literally do 5 lives with you, and I don't think touch the surface of like all you've accomplished, like in various industries. Like it's amazing, and I just like I said, I mean, just hats off to you. Thank you so much.
A little clap.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate. You know what? I'm gonna take that as a sign that I should absolutely fucking do it. How's that?
I'm on your ass till you do. So like,
all right, cool.
But no,
the chat going.
What do we as men need to do to see more women participate in the e-bike community? And I know that there's the subject of toxic masculinity and all that. I mean, just like what what is it that we need to do? How do we encourage it? Do we reach out? Do we what is it that we do to get to see more? I mean, is it just do we agree to be the ambassador, the protector? If somebody acts a fool, you just let us know. What is it that we need to do to try to get more women? Because I mean, it's funny because you say that about you were really shocked that day that 50 guys, that 50 people showed up.
I was.
I'm not shocked at all. Like I think if I had like a couple of women like in our group, and I said, hey, guys, there's going to be some girls here. I mean, I really think that we could probably get a heck of a lot more guys out. And I just, like I said, without like, crossing that line, I mean, how where do you see this? How do we get more involved? Like, and I'll admit, I'm probably the first that's probably made a few people feel uncomfortable just because I'm just like, hey. I remember one of my friends, like one time this girl came by my apartment and his response was, hey, you're the new girl. And I'm just like, oh my God. And like, as I heard him say it, I realized as it came out of his mouth, I'm like, I would want to run out of here if I were her. Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm the new girl. Like, what happened to the old girl?
Right.
Like, it's like, give me your like thoughts about this. Cause like I said, I mean, it's something that I'm fascinated in. It's something that I know that I can personally learn from.
Sure.
And it's something that I'm serious enough about because I think it's important enough that we see, more females get involved in this, sport activity, whatever we want to call it. So,
yeah, this passion that we're all like, yeah, that we're like, man, we love this. And I mean, to be fair, some people have found ways to monetize this in the sense of like, opening up, whether there's particular mods that they're able to offer, or open up a bike shop, or I don't know, have some sort of community space. And I just think that's brilliant. I think I said it at the top of the live, and it's something free people can do, and it's called respect. It is called respecting your fellow human and respecting your fellow female rider. And this is not hard, guys. Like, it's just treating people with respect. But for some people, it could be really hard, or they think they don't know how to act around women. They do. If they know how to treat people with respect, then they know how to act around women. The two are not separate from each other. 100%. It comes down to respect, and it's free. So you don't even have to go get trained for it or anything ridiculous like that. It is absolutely free to respect women. How this is hard for some people, I will never understand. But it is free, and you could start doing it today. Okay. And it's just, and then it's not about, and it's just saying, hey, welcome, welcome to the ride. So glad that you're here. Simple things like that. Like going up to someone, hey, hey, how's it going? Bike is awesome. Welcome to the ride. Let me know if you need anything. It's just creating this really chill, laid back kind of thing to where it's like, hey, welcome, see you here, cool, bike's cool, one wheel's cool, whatever it is. Like,
and not
cool.
Not every woman who shows up to an e-bike ride's a target for hey,
sexual harassment.
Hey.
See if she has big boobs or not, or whatever other wild shit you guys want to come up with.
Yeah.
It comes down to respect, and it's free.
Yep. You hear that, guys, and everybody that's watching? It's definitely something.
This shit ain't hard, man.
Yep,
it's free. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to I left it in my apartment. Oh shit, I left it in my bag at someone's house. You got it on you, and it's merely respect. The way that you would respect one of your fellow riders that's a guy, it's the same way that you could just respect a woman. I mean, this is that simple.
Whitewall's
agree with you on that.
Point in the comments that you would approach them the same way without a bike. I think it's to some extent like once you all of a sudden see like that they have a bike, and all of a sudden you think like they're one of the boys. You can all of a sudden talk to them like they're one of the boys. And it's like, in some ways you can, and you should make them feel like welcome and not treat them differently, I would imagine. But like you said, I mean, you shouldn't walk up and say, well, you have delicious titty meat or something like that. I mean,
I would skip that part.
No,
you know what I mean? Like I would skip that part.
Yeah, definitely. It comes down to respect. 100% it comes down to respect.
It just comes down. It comes down to respect, and to take it even a step further is creating a safe environment. But you're not only creating. I want to make this really clear. You're not only creating a safe environment for the female riders within the group, you're creating a safe environment for all the riders in the group. Okay?
Right.
Like everybody, I understand that I'm helping run a female collective here. I get that. Thanks. But it's so much more than that. It's about the respect being there and having, I've seen some other guys not like other guys and be like, yo, homeboy is fucking weird, not about this life. And it's like, okay, cool.
Right.
Got that. And then sometimes we got to handle things and whatever. But when it comes to like very targeted question like this, it's just like, all right, cool, man. Like it just comes down to respect, and it's free. Some guys just do not respect us out here.
Right.
And those are facts.
Right. And it's funny you say that, because like everybody has like a different kind of experience, right? I actually took a time to invite one of our she wolf riders. She should be in here somewhere, but I wanted to have her come on and kind of share the experience because Jen has her own experience as well, and I think it would be cool to like grab another she wolf and then just ask her about her experience and kind of see how it all comes to play. So let me see. Is she on the chat?
Comment.
Let's do it.
You have to flash back to Patrice O'Neill, has probably one of my favorite all-time comedians. He died a long time ago or a few years ago, whatever. Has one of the funniest commentaries on this whole subject. And if you ever look at the comedy special called The Elephant in the Room, he deals with this whole subject of like men and how they like just lose control around women and like, forget themselves and ask these dumb questions like about titty meat and stuff like that. So like, it's just, it's funny. But anyway, all right, we got a live request. Let's see if this is, yes, we're going to accept Blonde on Bike. Jay, why don't you introduce
let's go.
One of this, another she-wolf.
An additional she-wolf. You told us a little bit about it.
Oh! Blonde off bike, is that what it's called?
Blonde on bike.
I'm kidding. No, that's a little joke that we have, but no, it's blonde.
Now I know my screen name. I tried to get that name first, and then I was just like, shit. Somebody had blonde on bike first, and I didn't know who it was. Now I know. Glad to meet you.
Welcome, Emma.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you. We were just chopping it up, talking about experience, obviously about respect. Now that you're here, just shit tagging along with your female she-wolf rider. Like, let's just start. Let's say, like, Emma, like, how did quickly overall, like, how did you get into the Ebike community, and how did you get into the she-wolf community as well? Like, there has to be a time where you guys met and blossomed from there.
I've actually never had an opportunity to ride with Jen. I was trying to get out with y'all this summer, but I unfortunately got into a pretty bad accident. So I've been laying low and recovering, and luckily I'm all good. But I got into e-biking, frankly, by seeing another girl in my community with a sick e-bike. And it was at a time in my life where I was home a lot and working some really crazy hours. So the idea of being that free, just like ripping it and, enjoying that kind of freedom was really appealing to me. She was riding a Super 73. Mm-hmm. I had no awareness of the brand prior to seeing her on the street, and it just blew my mind. So I looked it up and ordered one kind of like impulsively.
A lot of people do.
Found my way into riding with Super 73, the group here in New York, and meeting a bunch of amazing people and meeting a bunch of people who are in Suron and Onyx and all the other communities. And everybody's been extremely welcoming. And Jen, you said it best, respectful. Being respectful is free. And that's, luckily, for the most part, the experience that I've had. And it really takes like the entire group, everybody, to uphold that and to respect each other, not just as like men and women, but as people. We're all here to ride. We're all here to be safe and enjoy the road and enjoy the thrill that comes from throttling it and running through tunnels and doing all the fun things, riding over bridges. It's epic. There's no better way to experience this city than on a bike.
Ooh, oh yeah, boy! I hope they put that on my tombstone because that is absolutely
just rip hard and just play hard.
Yeah,
right.
That's definitely something. No, I'm really happy to have all you guys here because it's like it's always a good opportunity to kind of just bring forward like females in the riding community, and that's something that I really personally want to see is just it evolve. Coming from a group of guys, starting the S3 crew, small group of guys that just want to ride and it just evolves. It's just, like Jen said, there's going to be a ride next year for the She-Wolves. You guys, anybody in New York City, respectfully come and join.
It's free.
100%.
Well, shout out to Chrissy. She just made a comment that she's starting to follow everybody in the live because she appreciates this topic. I knew this would be a topic. that literally needed to be brought up and needed to be addressed. The elephant in the room, it really is. I mean, I think to some extent, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think the world kind of took a weird turn, for a while with the Me Too movement and things like that. And it became a wild.
Shout out, Christy.
I think
Sorry.
kind of like, I don't know. They got confused on how to act around women, and it's just like it's like you want to be friendly, but you don't want to be too friendly. You want to be like it's just like we're at a real like I think kind of crossroads, and like I said, I'm really excited to have this topic because I just think that, like Christy said, it's a good time to talk about it because we need to. I just don't think that women are proportionally represented in the e-bike community. Let me just say it that way.
Well, yeah, of course they're not.
And
I mean, that's no surprise.
And so how do we get there? Because like you said, I think it is a surprise to me because it's just like, this is something that anyone can sit their ass on an e-bike. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. I had no dirt bike experience whatsoever in my life. And literally it's the most thrilling thing I've ever done in my life. And like, I
love it.
It's just like, I can't imagine that, like, even handicap. I like saw a thing on a Facebook group one day where a guy that was a paraplegic is like on a bike and they have it where he can like literally do his little turn and stuff, but like he can't it's just it's amazing to me that people are getting in these bikes. And so I just, like I said, I think this is an important conversation to have, and I'm glad we're having it.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't agree more. And I love that story that like that equals freedom to that person, right? Mm-hmm. Because without the bike, they wouldn't be able to do that. I think a lot of people, not in that situation feel very much the same. Like, this is freedom. This is empowering. Like, it's fun as hell to get on these bikes and go fucking rip it or go see the city or go ride some trails in Long Island with some of your friends or cruise down to Coney Island and ride along the boardwalk and piss off everybody. Like, it's fun, it's absolutely fun. And it's really empowering. And I think how we get other ladies on bikes is showing them that they can do it and that it shouldn't be out of sorts. Like the question Mike asked earlier before, what do you see in 3 to 5 years for myself? And let me add a little something to that. It's like, what I would love to see is that, like, just ladies, it's just part of the norm, baby. Like, it's just like, hey, we're just outside. Like, it's not a thing that no one isn't feeling like, oh wow, this is only for the person I date, not for me. Oh, this is only for this is for the big battery boys and not for me or anything like that. It's like, no, it's to me very inclusive for everybody. And I think if people want to take a step further and help encourage the community, is that they could go out of their way to pay some respect and welcome new riders and say, hey, if you have any questions, you need to hit me up and whatever's clever. But it does come down to respect. And I think She Wolves is a really great place for certain riders to land, to like get to the next level and feel confident, to whether it's like I said, whether their goal is to go on a wild ass group ride with some folks, or they just want to feel more confident on the bike, or they want to try out another bike, or say, hey, maybe the Onyx is for me. It's like, ooh, I really like Sarans. Maybe I'll go ride with homegirl. She's got a Saran, or check out some other things. I think having a group like She Wolves also to ride with other groups and be so damn collaborative. And, I like to think I'm really approachable. I've been hanging around this community for 4 years now. Booby, I see you in here.
Shout out to Booby.
Shout out to Booby. I was giving you your flowers earlier, but you missed it. You were probably doing the weather report with Richie.
The Boogie Down BX.
But I think that for sure, just to go back to the original point, it's a deeply important conversation. I'm really glad that we're having it. And the thing is, like, we're here. We are outside, baby. The lady riders
we
are
outside.
here, and we outside, and we're not going anywhere. And we don't give a shit whether you like it or not, or I don't know how to act. You fucking figure it out. Hopefully this live helps you out, that it just like, it comes down to respect, just like how you would do with your fellow rider, no matter what, if they were female or not female, or however they choose to identify. And like, the common goal is something that we all share. And that's just like, we love to ride these bikes, or we love all things electric, or whatever it is.
I
So
think the key thing that you said that I really, that to me is the goal I'm going to take away from this and try to work towards, is to make it to where it's just so common to have ladies out there that we just don't even like, it's just,
it's not a thing.
that's how, to me, that's how how we'll eventually get over the race issue as a country. I mean, I don't want to get off on whatever, but I mean,
Oh, geez.
I really
That's another topic.
it's the same principles. It's just when you don't even look at, oh, that's our black rider, or that's our whatever. I mean, it's just that's somebody else that's out there that's just here to enjoy the thrill and have the fun. I mean, it's just that's to me, that's where I think at least the takeaway that I'll get from this is just try to bring more females into this activity, and to the point where it's just like we don't even ask a question about it. I mean, it's just like it's not even a like we won't even have a ladies' night. We won't even have I mean, it's just like there won't be a need for a WNBA in the e-bike world. It's just because we have one league, and it's running rampant with both sexes in there. Right?
Yep.
I mean, however many sexes you think there are.
Well, there's she-wolves is forever, baby. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
right.
one thing. But it's no, I'm with you to where it's not even a thing. It's just like, awesome. We're all here because we love the bikes, we love riding them, or whatever we ride. It's electric. It's just it's an empowering thing. Again, she-wolves vibe is a bit different. It's deeply empowering. Being really strategic when it comes to collaborations, different things that we support. And all for the greater good. And another thing too, just I know I'm making this about New York City, but I mean, we have a real issue with electric bikes like really being on attack, right? And people not understanding the class of it, the classes I should say of it, and all this different things. What we're really focused in on is bringing positive attention. You'll definitely see more charity-esque type of work happening into the riding year next year. From She-Wolves, because I mean, I started She-Wolves, and in less than 30 days started an IG account that had quickly hit over 200, started a TikTok account, had a ride with over 50 riders, and it was just like everything happened fast, which was a blast, don't get me wrong, and I can't wait to do it all again, but even on a bigger stage. But it's just, if anybody's thinking about starting a small group, no matter where you are, collaborate with the other riders, collaborate with the other groups, take it nice and slow, get to know people. You're just meeting these people. You don't know how they are, or how they act, or what they believe in, or what's their why, so to speak. Get to know them, vibe with them. I mean, a booby now at this point I met about 4 years ago, and that's a bro right there. You know what I'm saying? And Gotham and S3. Shout out to pardon me, Bronx Voltage. Those guys are fucking awesome. Yeah, love that group. And just there's a bunch of like smaller groups popping up. I love it. I think we're doing something really special here in New York City, and I do think the whole world is watching.
Yes, 100%. Because like I said, next year you guys are going to do like possibly charitable events, and that's something that will shine, like you said, positivity towards every street rider, so people will inevitably, it'll probably change the minds of like how people see e-bike riders, so that's always something that can blossom from this. So I'm really excited to see what is to come about for the upcoming riding season. Some people ride in the cold. I don't know how they do it. It sure will. You know what I mean?
We got the heated gloves.
Come to Texas for the Mega Ride. It won't be that cold here. I was wearing shorts on Christmas last year.
No one asked you.
We were freezing out here. It's raining. See?
Yeah, it's been raining, and it's just like Richie's here. He could give us the weather report. We're so fortunate. And I got to shout out, like, speaking of incredible people, and this is like, not to get sentimental, but Richie Ramos has been one of the most incredible people that I've met this riding season. This guy is A+ fucking human being. He just started his own YouTube channel. It's called Hornet Bandit NYC. Anyone who's listening to this, I don't know if this is being recorded. I probably should have recorded this myself, but please follow his channel, follow him. Richie, comment somewhere on here, or somebody put a link to it in the comments or something. He just started his YouTube channel. This guy is just an incredible human being. Mike, you already know I love you. Davey Wavy, somebody send him my love. Of course, Gotham, Bronx Voltage, Mr. E. I don't know if he's in here, but much love to him. And of course, to the collective of She Wolves, you already know I love you ladies so much, and nothing but like a big bright future for all involved. So
100%. What was that? Well, I think I'm getting a message from Richie. Hello.
What?
Okay, I'll tell him. He said it's fucking cold. That's the weather report.
Jen,
That's
thank
the
you
weather
so
report.
much. Like literally, I cannot
My pleasure.
thank you enough. Emma, let me give you a chance to kind of wrap up any of your thoughts if you want to, but I just want to thank Jen real quick and just, like I said, you have an open invitation. Anytime you want to come back on this live, you are both more than welcome to come. And I just thank you so much, Jay, even for Jay was the one that I have to say, like I said, I knew who you were. I knew what you had started. I knew about the She-Wolves. But when I started digging deeper, I was just like, holy cow, like she would agree to be on our live. And it's just like, you were like the most cool, approachable person. And just thank you so much for being here. And like I said, Emma, you too. I personally am going to walk away with this with a renewed sense to bring as many females into the game here in Texas. Shout out to my girl, Marianne Ferguson. I saw you in here earlier. I don't know if you're still here. But I'm going to literally try my earnest to make this, like you said, where we're just not even asking or not even looking that, it's a female rider. So it's just another rider. It's just somebody else we have here. And so, I'll give y'all another opportunity if y'all want to say anything. This is your chance. And then Jay and I will do our little sum up. And usually we invite a couple other people on if they want to come on and comment about what they saw.
Talk a little.
But Jen, Emma, y'all's chance to sum it up.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Again, thank you so much for having me. There's a couple other She-Wolves in the chat, so I want to shout them out because they're on here. We got the BC in here. We got another vegan lifter in here, baby. And shout out to Misha as well. I don't know if she was able to make it, but I mean, the ladies that are part of this early on adventure, Aisha. They're incredible women. I think it's been a complete pleasure to get to know them, even chatting with Emma as well. Like the irony of being able to meet here, but her and I've been chatting like on IG of like I've been inviting her to rides. I've been keeping her in the loop because I'm like, we're gonna ride one day. I know we are. So it's awesome. And I think for anybody who's watching this and here in New York City, I think we are doing something special. I think here in New York City, we're helping lead the way. I think a lot of communities do look at what we're doing. Other people look at the West Coast, and now we have Saron, Texas out there leading the way as well. And I think that there's a lot of good to it. The good and the great people that you meet and the goodness that comes out of this far outweighs the bad, petty bullshit that sometimes that we do have to deal with, right? So much love to all. And again, Richie, subscribe to his new channel. I wrote it down, Hornet Bandit NYC. Go out there and get it. Mr. E, so much love. Mike, you already know. Mike, you had my heart from day one too. You know I forever love you. Wavy Davy, give him my love. Gotham, Bronx Voltage, East Coast Scooters. Those guys are fucking awesome as well. They actually, the head of them went out of their way to come say hi to me and the rest of the crew over at our at the S3 She Wolves ride in August. And just everybody who's really been supportive of She Wolves and what we do, just thank you so much. And please connect with me. You can find me out here on IG, Jen City, JENNCITY. You could go on jencity.com. You can hit the contact form and hit me up that way. And I really hope that if you spend all this time with us this fine evening, you could be somewhere else, but you chose to spend it with us, that you got something good out of it. And if you're here in New York City and we haven't ridden together, let's change that. Hit me up. I'd love to ride with you and shoot the shit with you for sure.
Well.
Can you even follow that? Can you even, I should let you go first. Like, I can't even follow that. I'm on the goddamn show. I can't even follow that. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much. And y'all are both invited back again. Please,
Thank you.
please, please, anytime y'all want. And we're going to go ahead and let Jen go and let Emma go. And we're going to go ahead and add some of these other folks that
Take care,
are
ladies.
dying to get in here. And, you know, hey, Jay, before we do this, man, wow.
We are getting some insights. All you fellas, there is a community growing. The whole e-bike scene is starting to come up. You know, people are popping up, and the fact that females are coming in to in the movement, it's just extraordinary. It's just really extraordinary. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening in the future.
Right. So we got a few minutes left and a few pending requests to join the live. Now,
who shall we join?
The first person that we're going to allow to join the live is quite possibly, I have to give you all a warning, the funniest person I know and probably the biggest loose cannon in the e-bike scene. So I have no idea what he's going to say. But Batman of Spokane,
yes.
we're about to add you, and then Backup Mike, you will be next. Hold on, let's see here. Oh no, Batman of Spokane has jumped off. All right, so Backup Mike, we're gonna bring you in. Y'all should remember Mike. Mike was our very first guest on MegaLive. There's a reason why that was the case. Because Mike, leader of S3, there he is right now, lighting up a joint for the fucking occasion. Mike.
Hello.
What do you have to say about that interview that we just had with the amazing Jen City?
Oh my God, man. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was glued to my phone. I really wasn't able to do anything other than listen to that because I was afraid I was going to miss something. That was a fantastic one, guys. I'm impressed with how far you guys have taken this. Cheers to you guys, because there's only more to grow from here, and Jesus Christ, you've already come a long way. Look at those stickers.
You see that, Mike? We're getting ready. This is just one of the 8 piles that I have. We're ready to come hard this spring.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo!
Come on. Also, just a quick little shout out, right? Jen had mentioned that one of our fellow riders, right? She got at the She Wolf ride. She got stuck middle of the bridge. Controller crapped out. It was actually the guy that joined Andel Diablo. It's Omar. It was him.
Yo,
and Mike.
You get that wrong every single time.
I love him though.
Tell us who it is.
But yeah, it was.
Let Mike. Hey, since you fuck it up, let's let Mike do it right. Come on, Mike. Tell us who it is.
What's the name?
Diablo.
Andel Diablo. Yeah, no, they towed her up. They towed her over the bridge. Everybody was just trying to fix her bike. You know, it was a really humbling time to see everybody just trying to help out every rider. You know, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this group She Wolves, like, they are matching the core of what S3 was about. Just no man left behind.
Oh yeah. I think in the process of everything that we've done for the past now 2 years, you know, we've met a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of benefit and there's a couple of drawbacks to that, obviously. But in the process, we've met some of the most wholesome, genuine, inspiring people, and you know, we just got to meet one of them, Jen City. I said it in the chat. She had my heart from day one, and I'm not joking when I say, you know, Jen was somebody that I always felt like I had something to listen for, you know, like whatever she had to say was valuable. And all of the time that I had with her, it felt special. You know, I am high, but I'm not trying to like cap. I really did think that the She Wolves ride was something that was more than I expected it to be, but also more than anybody really realized.
It's historic.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be looking back at different occasions, different rides that we did. When I'm Scott's age, you know, I'm gonna be thinking about all the different shit that's went down, but I'm never gonna forget that She Wolves ride. I'm never gonna forget the first couple of Gotham rides that I went to. You know, those are gonna be stories that I tell my children about, and those are gonna be stories that hopefully one day somebody will actually want to write down and pass on to another generation.
Or make a documentary about it.
Hey, I agree. It'll be on Frantic TV for sure. Mike, dude, like literally, thank you so much for showing up tonight and giving us a little bit of insight into that. I really want to drop you off real quick to bring in our next guest. I think Batman in Spokane is somebody I've been dying to get on this show.
I heard about him
on here because I think that you will get a kick out of this guy. If he's there, Batman in Spokane, we're bringing you in.
Oh man, Batman is
like
Spokane.
literally
S3,
S3 baby.
S3.
The infamous Batman. We were showing the Batman sign. Hold on.
Alright, where's he at? I'm off this. I gotta go smoke this blunt.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, there.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Four-way.
Dude, hey, for anyone who doesn't know who Batman in Spokane is, this guy had, in my opinion, probably the best YouTube channel in the whole entire E-Ride community. And then about a year ago, he got COVID and some other stuff, and he kind of dropped off a little bit. But he's doing content now, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait till the next episode of Batman in Spokane on YouTube. I'm just telling you.
It's coming.
Yes, man. Yo, Scott was telling me about you.
That was badass. That was a badass live stream that you guys got, man. I like that shit. I digged it, man. You're the best in the game, Mob. You're the best in the game, man.
Hey, it's only because of this guy right here, man. I tell you, this guy, Jay Styles, is the one who motivated me to do this. Shout out to the S3 crew, dude. Like, I feel like I have a whole other family, man. Like, dude, I have family in the Pacific Northwest with Batman in Spokane. I got Northeast with Jay and Mike here, man, and S3. I tell you, dude, this e-bike community is really growing, Poppy. What do you think about it, man? Tell me about the Spokane scene right now. What are we looking at down there?
Getting bigger and bigger, man. Like, every time I go out now, it's like I see more and more. And like we're trying to start up this group called 509 E-Riders. And the time I ride bikes, it's with the analog. I don't mind riding bikes with the people on analog. It's still fun, you know. But we don't got the big groups like Texas does, like LA does, like New York. We don't got the big group rides where it's all electric, you know. So we're trying to be the first ones to start off the all electric group rides here and stuff. We're gonna make little cards and stuff, and everybody Friday we're gonna try to do like Sunday night rides at 6:00 and pass out cards and try to get the community going up here in Spokane. So we're working on it.
What is the craziest thing you've seen riding your e-bike? Like, literally, I've had some fucking funny things happen to me this week, running my peacocks and stuff like that. Y'all saw on some of my reels I posted today. Maybe you did or maybe you didn't. But, like, literally, I can't even imagine, dude. Like, you've had people try. I've watched every video of Batman in Spokane, so I happen to know. Like, you've had people try to steal your bike. You've had people... You had to literally run motherfuckers down. Like, literally, tell me a little bit about your channel and kind of what we can expect from it when you start posting videos again, brother.
My editing style has changed a little bit since my old videos. So, like, I look at my old videos and they're all garbage. They're garbage. They're like, I don't like
that. Not garbage. They were the absolute most entertaining things in the e-community. Okay, go ahead.
An artist will always critique his own work, you know. And my editing skills, I was happy whenever I learned how to sit at a stoplight and edit that part out. I was stoked. I was like, I know how to edit now. Nah. I just found the basics, you know, like just a bare minimum basics. But I want to interpret more like good editing, like and VFX into my videos. Mm-hmm. So the next ones, I'm going to try to interpret some VFX in it and like, show you guys what Spokane's really about and shit. Like, that's my goal into the...
All right, hey, we got another person in the chat, Derek Florianovich, who is also from Spokane. If you do not know who Batman of Spokane is, I wish to God I could reach through this thing and just like, wow! Batman of Spokane. You must subscribe. Like, literally, I just can't even say, like, literally... I'm so happy to have you here. I've been trying to. You see me trying to FaceTime your ass for the last fucking 3 or 4 weeks, motherfucker.
Like we always catch each other when we're busy. We always.
Hey, after this live is over, call me. Like, for sure, dude. I'm gonna remove you because Jay and I like trying to round this up at like an hour and a half, and we're definitely coming up on that and probably gone past it. But I want to have a little talk with Mike here. We're gonna close things up, and dude, we're gonna. Hey, Poppy, if you're ever interested in coming on and being a guest, I guarantee you we would do a full episode with your ass, just like we did with Mike, just like we did with Jen. We need to know what's happening up there in the
You having me on
Northwest.
the live stream.
But the only way I would ever do it is you're gonna have to fucking give me another episode of Batman of Spokane, or it's just not.
It's on the way,
a fair
Poppy.
deal.
It's on the way, Poppy. It's on the way. What?
Get that cake and fucking bring it out of the oven now, man. All right, love you, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk back up Mike in a second, and
Batman's-
then Jay and I are gonna wrap it up.
The midsection's getting a little bit wide for Batman needs to go on a diet, motherfucker.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, man. See you
So,
soon.
Mike, man. All right, yeah, man. Look, the two of y'all know Jen, and you know it's so funny because, like, I just, I don't think people. I'm old enough to understand what a platinum selling musician means. I'm old enough to understand, like, I've been watching Big Brother, like I said, since the very first season, and to like be able to get all the way to the 5th spot, and like literally, she's so humble. Like, you almost have to like drag that out of her to like hear it. Like, I mean,
I didn't know anything about her music.
said she tried to flex on any of that. Like, I had to ask her that. I had to like tell her, look, I found these things about you. Like what's up? Like, so like, I guess like kind of like, I guess give me y'all's little parting words about Jim, because I have to say, I'm thoroughly impressed. I mean, I walk away from this live feeling like Richie said, I met y'all's queen. I feel like we met all our queens. I feel like that, like, this is someone that, like, gave us a lot of great information. And like I said, the big thing I walk away from is I want to try to build the female presence in the e-bike scene to where no one even asks, like, or no one even like cares, like, oh, this is a a girl here. Oh, what? Ooh, you got a girl here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, and I'm so guilty of that. I'm guilty as anyone else. And I just like I said, I'm just that's my end. I'm gonna hard stop it here. I'm gonna turn it over to the two of y'all, and then we're done. Jay.
So I'm gonna start off because I know Mike. Mike is the man with the words. This guy's the man. But definitely, yeah. Jen is just a magnificent person, right? She's a very healthy, well mix of just a positivity and also a visionary that can take an idea and then kind of move forward with whatever she wants. As you can see, platinum selling artist. Right now, I feel like she's gonna take that and then bring that into expanding, the she wolves, getting the female presence way more broadcasted, and it's just a healthy mix. It's going to be very exciting. You guys better definitely follow her, and then you're going to see much more to come in the future. So it's a lot of positivity. It's just a vibe. So that's all. That's my 2 piece on that.
Yeah, well,
What would you have to say to you, Mike? Now throw it back to Mike.
well, I think you did a good job summing it up, Jay. Personally, I didn't know very much about Jen's music career until you said that she was a platinum selling
That's what I'm
artist.
saying. You wouldn't even know if you didn't even fucking.
Right?
I'm not a person who does research on people. I'm not gonna be like typing people in on Google. But it's good that you.
Sorry, back up, Mike. I'm sorry, but like her, I'm
Yeah.
like, you type in Jen City, you're gonna fucking find a lot of shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised because from the very beginning, she was, for captivating is a good word, because it's like she's so you could tell that she is who she is, and she's strong in who she is, and is just a very respectable person. And those are people that when you see it, notice it, be humble. And I always, like I said earlier, everything she had to say I listened to, and that still happens to this day. Every time I feel like I communicate with her, she's just an expert communicator. She had told me a couple of different times about a job description of what she did, and it was always something very impressive, very elaborate. But I I remember the first time I heard that she said we had given her a sticker. I think it was one of the original S3 stickers, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this on my bass guitar." I was like, "Oh, that's dope! That you have a guitar." And I just figured, she had a couple of guitars maybe, but then I was like, oh, see if you could take a picture of you playing with it. And, you know, I think she ended up showing me a picture of her and she was like on a stage. And it didn't really click for me. But, now hearing everything that she does, everybody knows that she's a respectable person. And I only gained more respect for her after hearing everything she has to say. I'm not surprised that she knocked it out of the park. I'm not surprised that she is such a successfully uh, branched out individual. She has her hands in many different things, and when she dives into something, she does it well. And to go back to a different point, Scott, you're saying your goal is to start something to where women are equally present, where you don't even think about it. I am glad that none of us tried to start this. Like if we started an S3 women's division, it would just look whack. So seeing somebody step in, and I'm sure that there's already been some feminine presence. I know that there is in the EUCs, but in e-bikes in particular, there's not very much in New York City. Once I saw that it was Jen that was trying to do it, I was like, it's gonna happen.
In
It's
good
gonna
hands.
work.
I literally have full faith in the female presence of new NYC is in magnificent hands. Not just good hands, magnificent hands. Maybe the best hands that they could possibly be in.
Yes, and then she plays it like a bass guitar, and all is beautiful in the world. I can't wait. I can't wait for next year, man. Next year is gonna be insane.
Let me ask you your question. Let me ask you your own question. Where do you see Jen sitting in 3 years?
Oh wow.
That's see, because I know that question came from somewhere where you know what she's capable of, and see that because like people that know what people are capable of or sense that because I have a feeling like for me I think one of my greatest attributes is that I see things in people sometimes that they don't even see in themselves. Where do you see Jen City in 3 years?
So I'm sure that She Wolves, like she said, is gonna spread. It's gonna spread very far. When she starts her YouTube channel, she's going to have no problem blowing up because she's in the best way possible. She's a character where she's an interesting individual. She's a very strong personality. She's loving till no end if she deems you worthy of it. And when she doesn't, it's obvious. Oh my god. Man, I've seen it, and it's like, she's so uh easy to follow. There's no question in it. When you see her doing something, when she recommends something, she's coming from a place of knowledge, and it's a respectable pool of knowledge. In 3 years, she will have a large following, whether it be male or female. That's not gonna matter because her numbers are gonna be that big, you know. And whatever she does,
Right.
people will be watching. She said it. I loved when she said it. The world is watching.
Right.
And you know, this MegaLive is going to go down in history. It's going to be one of those things that people are going to pull up later on, and they're going to be like, yo, look at this. We're going to look back at this and say, look at how fucking stupid we were. And I love that. I love every opportunity to look back at myself, at least, and look back at a situation and just, you know, appreciate it, but also realize like how far you've come. And with somebody like Jen, you know, she always keeps me in check. I've gone to her in times of distress because I know that she'll provide a logical and also at the same time emotionally compassionate response. You know, she
Right.
knows how to talk to people, and God, she's just the easiest person to give a hug. That's about
Right.
it, man.
Right.
So
Forward to that day.
in 3 years, a hug from Jen is going to really mean something.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
I
Just
feel
quickly
that's the
piggyback.
case for all three people on this chat. I honestly do. I mean, I can't wait to get to hug the both of you guys, and you know, I don't know if we can leave it at a better place than that. Mike, thank you for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna drop you off at this point. I think Jay and I are gonna give our little closing thoughts and wrap this thing up so Richie can get some sleep because he's all pissed off. He says he needs to get some sleep so he can get weather at 4 a.m. in the morning tomorrow.
And el Diablo.
Yeah.
He got it right.
Sheesh.
Jay.
Wow.
This
is crazy.
I
And
don't know
Mr.
I don't even know what to
Richie.
say. I don't even know how you end it. I will say this, and I'm going to give you the last word. First of all, I'm sorry for my party foul. Several of you pointed that out. Yes, I did knock over a bottle of a glass of booze tonight because I was so excited. I did knock it over, and y'all did see that, and I apologize for it. And I am a little tipsy.
Recorded.
We
Recorded.
started this with a full bottle. I'm just going to say, and I'm already about.
Same here. Baby moments.
Okay, so where I want to leave this is where Mike was talking about humbleness. And I just don't think enough people get that in the e-bike community. It's something that I've had to remind myself lately, you know, with some of the success I've had around my own account. You know, you got to stay humble in this game. You got to stay.
Yeah.
And Jen is one of those type of people, I'm convinced, that you wouldn't know who she was if she was sitting next to you at the subway.
Yep.
You wouldn't.
100%. Nope.
She's never going to tell you. She's never going to basically, like, you know, just, hey, I'm a big deal. I've been on national TV. I have been a platinum selling musician. I have been like all these things. And it's just amazing. So I think, number one, it's a good reminder of you don't know who's sitting next to you in a ride. You don't know who you know what I'm saying? You know,
Right.
And I guarantee you, if you ask Jen this question, I bet she would answer yes. She doesn't feel like she's any more special than Emma or Brianna or any other people that are in the She-Wolves. You know, I mean, that's just the crazy thing. You know, divorce yourself from your ego in these rides. Make yourself available to other riders and form lasting friendships. And that's kind of where I leave this. And
100%.
I'm going to leave it with one of my lasting friends, Jay Styles, because I guarantee you, I've never met this man in person, but when he comes down here in November, I'm going to hug him like Mike and I were talking about hugging Jen. And I guarantee you, once that happens, you know, it'll be forever and like literally, dude, you're a brother. Thank you so much for like literally setting the guests up. This has been
no worries.
Insane, amazing. Like I said, I don't have enough words for. This has been my favorite live. I'm sorry to all the other previous live guests. This has been my favorite live, and it might be a minute before we catch up to this one because, like I said, I mean, just the message was so powerful. The guest was so powerful. The additions that we had from everyone else in the chat was so powerful. And Jay, wrap us up, brother.
All right, guys. Thank you, Scott. And definitely can't wait to meet you in person, right? You know, it's just very humble, very, very outgoing guy. Definitely a big personality. And, you know, there's there's not a lot of people that are like that, and definitely I would say this is one of the top lives that we have. But just piggybacking off of that, for the 13 of you guys, at the end we have to introduce our next guests.
Oh shoot, I forgot. I literally forgot. Thank God. This is why I have a co-host right here.
All right, guys.
Tell them who our next guest is if it's just an afterthought.
So, guys, for our next guest, right, next Monday, 9 p.m., we will have Mr. Rick Run Playback himself. Ooh.
Run Playback, baby.
Run Playback will be joining us next Monday to give us the experience about. We talked about females in the e-bike community. Let's shift it a little bit towards, navigating towards everything tech related, everything just. He's the man, right? If you're watching this, Rick, you're the man. I met him in real life, and he's a very humble dude. So I really can't wait to share this live with him. But yeah,
followed me when I was a no one. I can't stress that enough. Rick followed me, a 46,000 or 48,000, however many he has on YouTube, almost 50,000 YouTube followers. And this dude followed me when I was a no one on YouTube.
Yeah, he's very very humble.
I'm still a no one on YouTube, but let me shut myself up for a second. Yeah, I'm still a no one on YouTube, but like Instagram, like let me tell you something. Rick followed me before I really feel like, literally when I had probably less than 1,000 followers, Rick was, immediate, there's no ego. I like the fact that the guests that we're going after, so far, I have to say, almost down the line, Mike, Rick, who was our second one? Shreddy.
Reese.
Who was our other one? We had another one.
Reese.
Remember Reese? God, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm a little tipsy.
Thank you, AJ.
But so far, we have had literally the most selfless people, I think, in the e-bike community. And I'm just proud of that. I'm proud of the live, and I'm proud of how this is going so far. And Jay, dude, thank you so much.
Thank you. We're putting this together, and I'm really thankful for everybody that's been watching and that's been staying to the end. Yeah, definitely. MVPs. Yeah, no, you guys are all MVPs, but definitely shout out AJ. I appreciate you, man. I hope to meet you in real life as well. But yeah, we have Mr. Rick Run Playback. He will give us all the EV tips. Maybe he'll give us some secrets on what's coming up next on the EV world, because he has his hands on a bunch of stuff, not only e-bikes. He reviews like electric cars and does electric anything EV lifestyle. So that's something that we felt like we have to
tech update, because today we've had the Suron North America tell everybody that you can now pre-order apparently. You can now pre-order apparently a Stormby. Fuck y'all! Y'all been able to pre-order that months ago. I was offered a pre-order on those some bitches months ago. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna shut up. We're done.
Yes.
See you.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for coming and joining in. We love you all, guys. Love you, Scott, man. We'll see you guys in the next live. Join us around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and for the people in the Pacific, 6 p.m. We love you guys. We're logging out. You guys have a great rest of the week and ride and stay safe.
Amen. Thank y'all for coming up.
Thank you, guys. All right. Bye-bye.